up some, but we're going to hold in another. We'll see how that goes in the future. For now, we're going to move on to game number 2. So we check out our battleground here, and it will be Towers of Doom, picked up by Tempo Storm.
Tempo just going down the ladder here of some of the battlegrounds that they do enjoy, not having the opportunity to go to Dragonshire. So not going to stick to that pickup there, but goes to the Towers of Doom. If we get Towers, and the fact that we get Towers, I don't look at this as too concerning either way. If anything, I give it a small advantage to Note Tomorrow, and the fact that they don't have to worry about Tempo just running towards the core underdog team, but it's a macro game. Having control of those bottom bell towers, even though No Tomorrow did better on Tomb of the Spider Queen than I thought they would, being not the best macro team against Tempo, this is one where I expect Tempo to be a little bit more controlling because they are far cleaner on towers than they have been in Tomb.
They primarily pick 4 battlegrounds, Dragonshire being the number 1, of course, we know that one. But it does come down to Tomb, Towers, and Infernal. And Infernal is a map where we've seen No Tomorrow do well at. So they're playing to their strengths, playing to their battlegrounds. And I bring up this stat a lot, but it continues to remain very evident. In the second pick position, they are 19-7 overall, which means they're picking the battleground when you're in the second pick position. 73% win percentage. When they are first pick, they are 9-8, 1 game above 500. If you give them the choice, they will gladly take the map pick. They go to their strengths. They play their strengths so incredibly well, and that's what makes No Tomorrow a good team. They have their shot at picking one of their favorite battlegrounds here on Towers.
So let's see how it works out here. Dahaka might be something that we see brought up here into the ban phase. Not so much the ban phase. I take that back. I'm not sure Dahaka's at that point yet, considering this latest patch. But considering the battleground, I do expect maybe a Dahaka to come to light on the hands of maybe Jin or Glorong, and if so, see how much pressure towards those bottom sappers.
It's always interesting because if Tempo doesn't get Dahaka, you're like, that's fine, we'll just run Malthael on a Pale Horse. I can make this rotation just fine. They also like the Blaze. We saw the Blaze banned out in game number 1 as we see the Hammer and Abathur bans by Tempo Storm come through.
Genji first pick for No Tomorrow. Bold move, but it's Genji. Hard to say no to that.
Yeah.
Tempo is probably one of the better anti-Genji teams, I feel like, based on the fact of just June, you know, and his playmaking capabilities here. So, going to be cool to see if No Tomorrow can find those resets, because as we were talking about before, Tomster, when he was on the Genji earlier, it was looking good.
It does also depend on composition, because Shrite has looked good as well. Remember, this is a team, they don't necessarily have to play. Towers of Doom, you can flex around your picks a little. This Zeratul that we got on Dragonshire, the last time we saw No Tomorrow in their series Friday was the game clincher here on Towers of Doom, so they know how to win on this map, and they can do it in very unique ways.
It is a battleground that can get a little bit wild. That's a good point. But I feel like Tempo is probably one of the better teams that handle chaos compositions pretty darn well. As we get Urel and the Rainer pickup for No Tomorrow, still going to have themselves with a bit more of their standards there. I don't know how I feel about the lack of support priority, again, coming out from No Tomorrow. But I guess as a Genji and a Rainer, hard to say no to all 3 of those heroes really on their composition so far. It's just that keeps happening, and I don't know if that's too big of a problem yet.
Well, there is one support.
Don't say the Brightwing.
There is one support Dreadnought, and her name is...
Not Brightwing.
Yeah, it's definitely Brightwing.
Lieutenant Morales, that's who it is. Hooray.
You know, okay, so here's the thing. I was talking about armor. We're talking about stacking armor. Urel, 35 armor at level 4. Morales has a 2 safeguard talent at 16, but you can't stack them. We need to fix that.
Shield Sequencer is the name of the talent.
We need to bring back Morales to the meta.
We do.
I'm just kidding.
I'm down with that.
Ooh, is she the double support answer? White main plus Morales, nobody dies. You don't kill anybody, but they don't die either.
I don't think that's how double support works. You still need to be able to kill him here, JL. Come on.
Grenade build Morales? Money.
It is fun. Murden and Li Ming picked up here for Tempo. Lot of big damage set up, though. Between the Stormbolt, my F kill potential, and the Li Ming follow-up here, if they don't have anybody who can consistently wear some of that damage output by No Tomorrow, and I don't think they have too many heroes left remaining for them in the support avenue to make up for that.
We got her.
We get the Brightwing and the Tyrael.
Well, we saw Simplicity run some old school options. This is old school, mixed with some new school.
Do we still get the Blink Heal or the Emerald Wing? Because last time we saw this out of No Tomorrow, we got ourselves still the Blink Heal, even though we had the Genji with the mobility and the kind of split potential there.
You bring up the most interesting point, because everybody's like, oh, so much mobility in the game. So we're going to get another Arthas here. This time will be Glaurung's role. But Brightwing and Tyrael, they got some mobility. Don't sleep on these targets. People forgot. These were the original mobility heroes.
They are. The original, look at me, I get to dash everywhere, is the one every 15 seconds Eldruins is the heroic 2-charged Blink Heal.
Judgment is literally a man looking like he's running.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can say, look, you know, mobility heroes and heroes, the OGs right here.
The original's there. And the original anti-mobility, Arthas. He's like the glue of Heroes of the Storm, you know, keeping you near him.
Wait till you see who's playing who in this game. I snuck a peek.
Wait, which team?
Tempo.
Well, you would expect it to be Glaurung on the Arthas, but now judging by the fact you said that, that's Glaurung hands down on the Maiev. He is playing the melee assassin Deathball. I'm calling it. Let's go.
Let's find out. I think we're almost there. We'll get there in a second. We're just going to tease you for a second longer. There we go. Let's go. We saw Crowan on Muradin yesterday. Fan says, hold on a second, hold on a second, hold on a second. Let me try my hand at some Muradin action. Fan's going to be on the Muradin, which is Glaurung on the Maiev.
Interesting adjustment, but if we look at Glaurung's background, it's not so interesting, which is why it was a pretty easy guess for me the second you said that. It's because Tempo Storm, Glaurung, hands down, highest performing player when he is on melee assassins. He thrives in that environment. Zeratals, the Illidan's, you know, the TLVs, which I'm not sure you can count that a melee assassin. No, I'm just kidding. But he does have some very, you know, go-to heroes in the past and always very much has. He loves to be able to have that damage output, and Maiev falls into his playstyle. Even the Kerrigans, right? Those are another one that he was truly known to be a terror on in Heroes of the Storm.
We got Kerrigan in a game earlier, which helped clinch that victory for Leftovers over Dignitas. Surprising if you missed that. That was one heck of a series going all 5 games. Fun to watch there as Dignitas fell, and we'll miss out on that Poik mixtape.
I will miss out on it, actually. That'll make me pretty sad.
Well, the rotation down, this is what we see. If you're going to invade or defend against an invade, that solo laner comes down towards the mid. As the sappers start to spawn around that 1-minute mark, you kind of gauge where everybody's going to be. Cattle will sniff out. See Shrite over here. Fan will anchor and take his place.
If anybody wondering why Fan storm-bolted, that was to scout that next shrub and get a free stack if possible. Going to be baiting it over here, trying to delay, see if Tempo Storm can make their way over in a second. Li Ming is going to move up, make it past the halfway point for a second, but not going to all in there or commit too much at this point in time for Tempo Storm.
You mentioned the Blink Heal versus the Emerald Win. Against this heavy potential dive from Tempo Storm, if you Blink Heal to a target and that Arthas is on top of them, you inevitably get caught kind of in that web.
Yeah.
As somebody that maybe dabbled in some support back in the day, like, which are you feeling? Because this is a very old school matchup. I mean, it's not like this is the new school. It's just the new school is old school here.
I think you got to Blink Heal. The Warden's Cage Maiev kill potential with the Muradin Stormbolt is very, very scary. The best way to look at it is much how you kind of described it. Is like, well, what are my what are the kill targets of Tempo Storm going to be feeling? Expect that I feel that as a Brightwing too. And so if you teleport onto the Tyrael, you're like, oh, there's going to be an Arthas around that, Maiev looking for the Fan of Knives reset, and probably a Stormbolt thrown in that direction. If you wear any one of those, you're a dead Brightwing, which probably means the Emerald Wind is not going to pay out too much for you. So I would expect it to be that. But that being said, last time we thought that might not be the case here, considering how much they had around the Brightwing Bomb on the last composition for No Tomorrow, and they went Blink Heal and made it look good twice.
Jen with the juke there on the Stormbolt will continue to trade out, but now Cattle's going to come. The root will land mid-dive. Brightwing, see if she can keep this alive. Highly unlikely, but Akaface has put himself, well, that's a bad spot to be in if you're a Brightwing.
But that did embody that question you asked me. very, very well. What is the Brightwing going to feel when she goes in? And that was exactly it. Yes, that is without the teleport and without having the Brightwing blink heal opportunities. But as this game moves on,
oh, he missed. Oh. He missed that Swift Strike. That was maybe a pixel away.
That was close.
He just like dove up, looked at him nose to nose without ever touching, and was like,
now kiss.
Oh. How does that work when you wear a helmet?
Yeah, that's another time, another place conversation, I think.
2 channels here for Tempo Storm in the early going, getting that double kill to open things up here. Momentary control. We'll see how this game goes on. The playmaking potential of a Tyrael Brightwing Genji as the game goes on. A little more terrifying. You know, I was really thinking about this in that last engagement because Octalysis has brought a newer meta, kind of shifted things. We saw the double support. But if you were to ask me before all this started, like, which is wilder? That Zul fits into a double support main tank role, or Arthas is back in the meta?
I think I say Arthas.
I know, right?
Yeah, I look at that Zul and I'd be like, that's a lot of wave clear. I get it. Pretty good lockdown. Okay. You have the double support to keep him alive, so your biggest concern is just you don't have the survivability. But right now, if you win the fight through damage setup, then that makes sense. You're good. But then you tell me nothing's changed on Arthas meta-wise other than maybe Raynor and auto attackers, which Raynor has a pretty okay matchup into the Arthas for the most part.
Oh.
Holy Howling Blast, Scroll of Sealing. That was a lot of setup there. Not too much follow-up damage, but that happens in the later stages. We might be looking at a very different outcome there.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Like if you're Vin and that happens post 10 minutes in this game, you go, oh, reset city, baby. And I'm the mayor.
You know, since it's out there on the social medias, there was somebody said we've got an interesting balance patch coming up soon.
Yeah.
So, and it was in reference to some of the talk going around about the tanks. Take that for the night. Chew on that for a few days. See when we get that balance patch. I don't know when it's going to be. We don't have any of that info. But there's some rumors out there, thanks to some Blizzard folks. I'm looking forward. Is that Arthas changes? Is it not? I don't know. Some exciting changes, nonetheless. Garden of Terror, Brightwing, Kerrigan, these reworks that are coming out, just a fantastic job. Really looking forward to it.
If you weren't scared of the Brightwing before, you will be after. Interesting rotation here from No Tomorrow. Or excuse me, more so from Tempo Storm. No Tomorrow going to be committing to the camp. We get Deckard making his way up, but it's going to be a little bit late. So Tempo not wanting to commit.
Shrite goes in, trading out there with Glaurum. Will stay on that tether, willing to stay in and on that. But level 10 quickly approaching. Base will use that Pixie Dust, gives you that little boost of movement speed to walk away, speed away from that. But 10 picked up here for Tempo Storm.
We do end up seeing the Containment Disc as the selection there for Tempo Storm. And I wonder if that changes your perspective if you're a Brightwing a little bit more. Just knowing that you don't have to be stuck in that territory or blink heal over the wall to make anything happen at that point in time. That was, for me, the biggest, like, oh, I definitely want to see that. Stormbolt hurts. Stay a while and listen definitely struggles, but it's mainly the Warden's Cage that is the biggest fear factor there. Still going to commit to the the blink heal, though, for Akaface. Love me some blink heal.
We're going to see if somebody else is going to be blinking in. Tyrael not yet locked in. And you got to think that if it's Warden's Cage, it's Sanctification all the way. But now you're like, Containment Disc? I don't know.
If you Judgment against an Arthas comp, you have to...
Oh, keep going, baby. Keep going.
You have to kill the Judgment target faster than the Arthas, and Arthas wins that trade more often than not. Which is, you just saw that interaction. What happens is Cattle should dive the backline while Tyrael dives the backline, and one of you has an auto attack debuff and movement speed debuff. The other one does not. So this is a bold play here from No Tomorrow, but they've done bolder things and make it look great. So we'll see if they continue to do that here on Towers.
Here we go. Single altar. Nobody's dodging this team fight. See the Eldruins down Casanova. See if he presses Q again. So we see the contention. June starting the channel will warrant a response. Jin, as Vin goes in, lands a full combo onto that Urel. So the fight will linger on.
Jin giving everybody armor. Akaface using that passive healing out of the Brightwing. In the long run, can heal up quite effectively, but looks like if it's enough to zone off. 4 shots picked up for Tempo Storm. No Tomorrow's Core now residing at 24 HP. J-How, I'm still not going to lie. I am mad surprised that we got ourselves a Judgment out of all the cases here in this game for No Tomorrow. I want to see how they make it work.
Well, it's one of those things you're breaking down, and I'm like, yeah, you know, we got to break down all considerable options here. And I'm thinking, you know, it's nice to know the what-ifs. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get it. And then he's like, wait a minute, hold on. Actually, we are going to get it. I'm like, here we go.
The biggest thing that when you see a Judgment, you just go, how do I stall the follow-up? And that should be Cattle's job, but the question is, does Tyrael die faster than Cattle? And usually the answer is yes. We see the Judgment, there's a Swift Strike. Holy moly. Mission accomplished on that one.
Oh, June being tracked down. They're trying to survive, but Jin gets in on the action. Tomster and Shrite tracking that down. We get ourselves a double. Very good rotation down from Jin. You could see that they were coming to defend the camp and looking for a counter engagement. Got just that and then some. So No Tomorrow evening up that scoreboard and the kill count.
Yeah, that's one moment where we see the catch out with the Judgment all in, but I think the biggest thing, J-How, now that we see a glimpse of that, Tempo Storm has seen the thought process behind the execution with the Judgment. How many times does it actually happen, though? Because that is normally the immediate, okay, we figured it out, you fooled us once, now we're able to hold our own, deal with that here. And at the 13-13 talent tier over this next Alter fight, can't help but feel like this is a perfect insight to how maybe the future of this game is going to play out with this trade-off of the Judgment. Going to be back in another 13 seconds. See if No Tomorrow can get that one shot all in.
The one thing I really liked about that was the synergy with that, because we saw the Blink heal into position to get the polymorph onto that target. You get some very good polymorph talents at level 16 to maybe further empower that style of dive onto a primary target.
But if that target is not to Deckard Cain, that leads to a very big stay a while and listen. So that's something to talk about in the future. It makes the kill target and critterized target very interesting here as we see a split. 3-2 split for both sides as Casanova kind of getting tracked down by Cattle. Howling Blast out, thrown, not going to land anywhere as Fan starts middle channel for Tempo Storm. There's 4 shots in favor of Tempo and 20 remain on the core of No Tomorrow. Bottom altar picked up by June, another 4, 16 for No Tomorrow, and now they're going to force.
They can't keep giving these up. It's making it way too difficult. Nope. No dive in there by Shrite. Tomster trying to survive, and there's the stay a while and listen as Tomster trying to get out of there, buys time for the moment, but the X-Strike comes down in return, unable to get the kill. Vin being tracked down upon by Jin, who looks like he's going to fall, but Ardent Defender will keep him alive for a few more moments. See if he can make things happen because it looks grim right now.
Shrite going back in for another reset attempt, and Vin actually healing himself up there. Great job.
Oh my.
And the Blink heal coming out from Akaface, keeping Jin alive as well. Teleport is going to give Jin the shield, the armor. Coming back there is Glong trying to split Shrite, goes back in again for another reset, but does not find it. Tempo somehow heal and hold on there, but very well done. Kiting entry all back and forth, in and out by No Tomorrow. That was, honestly, if you need a justification to understand how much better is No Tomorrow becoming, that clip of that skirmish is a very easy, this is not the team we used to be.
Standing toe-to-toe in that fight. They did come up short on the interrupt on one of those altars, so they have fallen behind in one department, and now they'll pick up the pace here. Brightwing coming in with the shift. See if we get this fight. Containment Disc will buy time for them to steal that. Stay a while and listen. We'll lock in one member. Jin, no Ardent Defender this time. That's going to be reset number 1. See if they can track down and get another, but Shrite will dodge with the Swift Strike out. Very inopportune time as we're 10 seconds away from the next altars.
And even though the experience is close, because Tempo Storm has been winning over those earlier altars so dominantly, it puts this into a very grim position for No Tomorrow. Normally at this stage of the game, you're going, you know, small shot disadvantage on one side, not that problematic. The biggest play is going to be on top. Do we see the Judgment? That vault coming out too soon is going to cost Glorong his life. The answer is very much yes.
But now we've got Tempo Storm. They're coming up. we've got Genji still dealing with the double sappers bottom. Kata will come in. That will be interrupt number 1. And now we've got a 4 versus 3. Tomster and team trying to hold on. Urel will join the fight, but will it be too late? Casanova not able to get out in time to get the armor from Jin. Akaface never completed that channel on the left side. It's a 4 versus 4, but Tempo Storm with timing in their favor.
Is Vin gonna interrupt that? He got the auto. He used Wave of Force. Oh my goodness, he's going to go down here. That's double crowd control. He needs the phase shift at any point here. And J-How, if we reel it back, I don't think we need to, but actually there was an opportunity for Akaface to start the back by himself, get it for free. He questioned if he needed to move and save somebody, cancels it, goes back to the shrub, then June interrupted it, and then led to that setup there. So definitely a major setback here by No Tomorrow, but if anything, I'm more impressed, I think, with June scouting that still, even though Aka could have very clearly made it out.
We find ourselves in near lethal range. 1 altar plus a boss from here on out will be game over in favor of Tempo Storm. No Tomorrow has a lot of work to do to get back into this game. They're not far down in terms of experience, but Tomster, he's in trouble. Casanova comes in with the judgment. See if they can turn this around. It's a 3v3 for now. But shots fired by Vin. See if he can get a reset.
Fan comes in with the Dwarf Toss, lands himself a Storm Bolt onto Tomster. A lot of damage with that axe. Polymorph coming down. A 4-man stay a while and listen with a 3-man scroll of ceiling. Glorong not having a Warden's Cage follow-up to that one, not wanting to commit to the trade, but does find a tether onto Jin. But he'll be just fine.
No Tomorrow is staying busy in these fights. Vin is like, look, I just need to hold on. We only have 8 shots left. Going Diamond Skin at 16 to survive. Here we go. There's the lockdown. Akaface comes in, finds himself just outside of root range. Jin going in here, Dread.
Jin going in. Containment disc coming out from Glorong. Fan having to get the Dwarf Toss out, but Kata with a big Howling Blast, stopping No Tomorrow for a moment into their tracks. 12 seconds on those shots. Sapper's still not committed to as the Rainer's Raider eating that orb.
Judgment's up. See if they go. See if they pull the trigger here. Casanova, he's going in on Vin. Vin doesn't make it over the wall. There's the poly. That's going to be kill number 1. Tomster, he'll get the shield from Brightwing as he's trying to kite away. See if he's got the penetrating round to get a heal in there as the armor reduction's going to be there. Tomster not able to heal up in time. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far.
Yeah, and Cattle just slowing down Jin even more so there as the leap interrupt there with the Dwarf Toss. X-Strike coming down out from Jay Shrite. He's going to be met with a stay a while, and he will in fact listen there. Oh my, Jay Shrite actually kiting and keeping himself alive after that tether with the Cyber agility. Will be able to move back to get the interrupt there as Akaface still dealing with Cattle. He blink heals out. Casa gets the interrupt with the smite. Another blink heal there, but the tether not in range as the polymorph comes out.
The channel started again though. We'll give another 4 shots, putting No Tomorrow in desperate range. Akaface got the blink to keep Shrite alive, and then found himself in a bad spot. He's like, can somebody come here? I need to blink out. And blinks out with a sliver of health.
But with that, J-How, that last skirmish, I think, put to like the matchup of the Judgment versus Arthas very well. When the Judgment goes in, even when it's in its prime, and it one-shots Vin on the backline with that Li Ming, even a Diamond Skin Li Ming, the Arthas chase on the back end. It is very difficult to retreat constantly from that. And Tempo Storm doing a really good job of understanding that advantage within this composition. Cattle positioning himself very clearly, looking for the, hey, because normally when you see yourself lose a member, you go, can we run away from this? And notice how Cattle's going, all right, boys, doesn't matter. Keep them slowed. We're going to be fine in the long run.
The last time we saw Tempo on Towers of Doom was versus Simplicity. They snuck in a boss to end the game. And you can see No Tomorrow very much aware that that could be a possibility. They'll take the boss for themselves.
No holy ground for them, though, so not 100% a boss if Tempo is concerned, sniffs it out, and invades.
I don't think they care. I mean, they can even play the long game. This next altar, I mean, they don't even have to take this. They can just get 20, wait this out and get 20. They don't have to risk anything. And even if they lose a fight, they are still miles ahead that it's like, all right, we lost a fight, we'll just get it next time. They've got to track down pretty quickly, though.
Jin leaps over, getting desperate, knowing that timing is going to be difficult. Throws down the hammer. Glorong under pressure. There's the bolt. We see Jin get pressured as The Judgment comes out, X-Strike goes in, Vin is the first to drop. Stormbolt ends up landing onto Thompson now as Glaron goes in, finds himself the first kill here for Tempo Storm. The altar is up. Any channel will end this game for Tempo. Pressure there onto Jay Shrite. Akaface questioning what he wants to make happen as Jin leaps back. Scroll of Ceiling goes through. Ardent Defender getting the heals out for Jin.
Oh, I think he forgot. That is not their tower. Shrite eating shots. He'll have to try and get away. There's going to be a kill onto Akaface and Fan. He's trying to make the confirmation as Shrite trying to walk away, but he will eat a Stormbolt. The Thunderclap comes down, and that should be enough. 3-1 in favor. This would be a miracle defense for No Tomorrow as Jen trying to survive. Cattle and team, they're looking to close it out.
Feels like Tempo is stat padding mad hard over this skirmish on bottom, knowing it is a inescapable position and not a single person has questioned starting this altar until the message has been sent. Okay, guys, if you're going to do it, do the job right. Thank you. Finish it off here. Tempo Storm with that altar takes game number 2 here over No Tomorrow.
Every one of those judgments was the epitome of the way that you broke it down. I look, I see a kill, I'm like, that's a great start. And then I look and I see Tomster stuck in the web of Arthas just walking right past it. If Tomster is able to live in those moments, it's a different fight. Getting those penetrating round cooldowns would have done a lot to survive, but Cattle knew the call. He's been around the block a time or two, walks right in, says, it's fine.
And I think that a lot of people at home would be like, first thought, if you never watch a professional judgment game come in and see some of the highs and lows of it, you'd be like, well, I could pre-Eldruins, then I can judgment in, and then I can Eldruins back, and that would maybe remove some of that element. But now imagine the world where you fail to get that original kill. Then suddenly you don't have this all-in, all-out type situation. Not only does it make Judgment way harder to cast in that time because you're clearly throwing it down a weird Eldruins at a very weird position, but then you also are losing all the gap closing and all the kill potential afterwards, and then talents like Holy Ground, it gets limited that much more. I'm just showing that there, no matter what way you kind of cook the Judgment play, there's a very much a reason as to why it has fallen off, and until maybe, I don't know, he has a way to get out of those situations a little bit easier. It is very much the, all right, I've pressed R, we're going to do this. And I'm not going to lie, though, I'm honestly more impressed with how No Tomorrow dealt with that comp. They made it look better than I thought they would with the Brightwing, with the, Swift Strikes coming in. Tempo just did what Tempo Storm does, which is just keep their cool and use that Arth as well.
If you need to get in and out of somewhere, Medivh, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But Tempo Storm finds themselves up 2-0. We're going to see if No Tomorrow can fight their way back, try and keep those playoffs hope alive. We'll be back after this commercial break.